Whoa. I have to change that. So today I'm going to be changing this cover on my center console. The car's about 7 years old, and with wear and tear and my elbow rubbing up against the spot, looks like there's a break in the, I don't know if this is leather or fake leather, so you can change it out. So in order to remove this part, going to have to undo this cover that will expose screws underneath here to pop out this entire piece. Alright, so the way to pop this out is you take a flathead screwdriver, or you could take a prick tool. On this side there's a little notch, so you want to stick your flathead screwdriver into that notch, wedge up a little bit, and that should be enough to pop this side out, and then pulling up and out, you'll be able to remove the cover. Then you unscrew these 3 screws here to be able to remove this piece, so you could start working on removing all these screws that you see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. Now that we're inside and we have this piece off, we're going to want to unscrew all these 6 screws that we see here, and including this silver clip here, this trim. Okay, so let's go ahead and unscrew that. Once you have all the screws off, so I took off those 6 screws, I also took off these 3 small screws here. You're going to want to grab a flathead screwdriver, place it in between this plastic bit and the leather bit. You want to pry it open, because this contains clips that are holding, you can see the clips right there, that are holding the leather piece from the plastic piece together. Okay, now we have that off. I want to remove this piece. You can see there's 2 more screws here, so I'm going to remove those and get back to it. So now with those screws off, you're going to want to take this off. This is applied with pressure in addition to the screws, so give it a little bit of force to take it off. So once we have that off, we're going to want to take this back piece off, because we're not going to want anything to get in our way when we're putting the leather back on. So take these 3 screws off. So in addition to this being held with this tape and with pressure, so here you can see there's little clips popping out of this frame that help guide you on where to put the leather. So but they also glued it on, so you're going to want to start undoing this little by little to be able to put on your new one. So let's go ahead and do that now. So now that we have this off, this is the old one, and this is going to be the new one. It's going to be on here. A couple more things that we're going to need is some adhesive spray, some tape to hold on as we go that onto this, and just in case, because this is my first time doing this, I got some clamps. I think you could get some at like Harbor Freight or maybe Dollar Tree for cheap. So let's see how this goes. So the question I have is, you know, how is this gonna work? Where should I start? So what I've noticed is that these seams that you see here line up with this, and maybe it's because it's been on there for so many years, but on the foam you can actually see where it goes. So this is the old one, and you can see how it goes right there. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try starting from the back. Okay, and I'm just going to give it very little bit amount of slack, but make it really tight and close to that seam, to that edge right there. Let's try it. So now that I have it where I would like it to be, I'm going to lay it down on its back like this. I'm going to loosen the clamp. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and spray this bit right here with this spray. Okay. So once I sprayed it, I'm going to put the clamps back on and let it sit for about 15 minutes. Make sure it's nice and dry before I get started on the other sides. All right, so I've gone ahead and taken off the clamps. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some of this tape and just tape this down to make sure it holds while I stretch and try to put the other edges on. So I'll go ahead and do that now and come back. Okay, now that I have that taped off, what I decided to do is I'm going to take one of these seams and stretch it out as hard as I can and glue it on here and leave it with a clamp. And the reason is I'm going to use these markings as my guides. And so if once I stretch these out and line them up correctly and glue them in, then it's just a matter of stretching this side out, this side, basically just doing the finishing touches and touching up here in the front and on this corner, and that should be it. Now the only thing that about this project that I could tell you is going to be a pain is that you have to let this dry super strong for 15 minutes. So, which is not too bad, but figure, you know, you only have so many clamps, at least I do. You have to go, you know, piece by piece, spray by spray, and kind of put it all together. So that's the only part that is a pain in the neck. I'm gonna see how this ends up. Again, when I put this part on, I'm gonna stretch it as much as I can, not too hard, but get it nice and snug, nice and tight with a clamp. So let's give it a shot. All right. So thus far, I've done here, here, on this side, right here, and on this side. So what I have left to do, it's kind of almost like when you're trying to wrap a gift and just finalize, you know, the details of wrapping that gift. So I'm gonna spray some more glue and keep going. All right, so in order for this round bit part to look nice, you can see how it looks kind of, I don't know, not right. I'm gonna break off pieces of this tape here, okay, long pieces, and I am going to put this under. This is just basic blue painter's tape, so that I could get a good grip and just pull on it. First, I'm going to spray the plastic trim here with some other glue. Then I'm going to pull on this and as hard as I can to make sure it stays nice and tight. There's no loose leather here. See how here it's kind of loose. So when you try to slide this in, you're gonna get that excess showing. And I want to try to avoid that and have it nice and tight, like how it came from factory. I'm gonna give this a shot and see how it looks afterwards. All right, so here I have the brand new cover assembled onto the trim that goes in onto the center console. So it's not, I think I did an okay job. Not a professional, but definitely something that if you take your time, you should be able to do. Probably takes about really like 2 hours on and off, maybe 3, because you have to let this glue dry. So now all I have to do is, this is a little dirty. All I have to do is reattach it back onto the car with the screws, and that's it. Should work. So I've gone ahead and installed the new one already on. A final piece of advice is, if you're gonna do this at home, if you're gonna order a cover to replace your cover here in the center console, I would probably start with this piece first. Take your time, make sure this is lined up. Start from the front back, because you're gonna see this notch here every single day that you go into the car, right? So you want to make sure that this is nice and tight, and all along the sides and all that, and not the back. So that's just the takeaway that I could give you guys if you haven't done this already. You know, if you think of another way, a better way to do it, please comment below. Like to hear some feedback. Nice and slow, I think, is the name of the game. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like all the information I've been providing, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support, guys. Peace.